Okay, so we have a little bit of a downer, but it must be done. I don't really need to focus on it. Clean it up. The rain, like the rain should. So it really started. September 4th of this year, so from right now, on last Monday, there's a company that does asphalt. You just hire them to come out and do your driveways and shit like that. And my cousin worked for them. Well, on that Monday, around 10:30 in the morning, they were on their way to work, and it was K&B Asphalt and seal coating. They were in the work truck, him and I don't remember, 5 other guys driving to work, and another truck was coming. That truck missed the stop sign. They collided, and from what I understand, it was a very horrific accident. Very horrific. Like, the vehicle was thrown and it caught on fire. 4 people died in the one vehicle that my cousin was in, and he was one of them. And in the other vehicle, that guy died too. So it was like pretty gruesome scene from what I understand. Like, really bad. Like, some of them didn't get to have open caskets. It was that bad. He was about 33, so he was only 1 year older than me, which is crazy. It really is. Now, he was on one side of my family. He's not a Baker, he's a Shirley, which means he's my grandmother's side, not my grandfather. And yeah, he did. I mean, sometimes you just die, you know what I mean? Sometimes you could do everything right. Everything. You could be, like a passenger in a vehicle to which someone in another vehicle made a mistake, but you die anyway. Like, it can be that easy. So I went to his funeral yesterday, which was Saturday, the 8th of September. Man. I didn't really have much of a relationship with him. We weren't in each other's lives, He helped my sister out a lot, from what I understand. Apparently he was a very, very good person. I didn't know this. He helped a lot of people out, because that funeral home, I've never seen that many people gathered together. It was insane. There was so many people there. So many people. You know what I mean? Like, the parking lot was fucking full. In fact, there are 36 people who planted a tree for him, which one tree costs $40. Just 36. Like, I've never seen that before. And there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there. The entire 2 rooms were full, and there was people standing outside. There was just so many people for this one guy. Apparently he was that great of a person, right? But I do know he struggled a lot. According to some of the things, he struggled with drugs, and he struggled with most likely depression. But he always found ways to be caring and helpful to people and doing things for them. So, to me, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, that's where it's at. When we went there, I was very happy to hear that it wasn't about, he was a real good worker, and he was, he paid his bills on time, or whatever. I love that I kept hearing story after story after story of how compassionate and caring he was. And yeah, it's true. Yeah, it just says, you know, who survives many uncles and cousins and aunts. Like, yeah, there was a lot of us. There was so many people there, and it was cool to see that he was that compassionate and caring, and respectful and helpful to people. You know what I mean? Like someone that's in my family. I used to hang out with this guy when we were young. We were young kids. And the last time I saw him, he was the pallbearer behind me for both of our great-grandmother. You know, we took her to her resting place. And when I saw him laying there, you know, I don't know how much was, you know, they did a good job, I'll say that, to how he looked. I'm like, I have to be presented by this. I need to go. I gotta go see this. This guy's 1 year older than me. I'm not looking at some old person who finally died, or someone that died of cancer after a long battle, or even a suicide for that matter. I was looking at someone who died unexpectedly, without any, like, holy shit, and it was just like that. One minute he was making plans to go and apparently he wanted to go like kayaking and stuff like that. Like he was cleaning himself from drugs and all that. He was trying to get himself on the right path. And right before he could really get going, bam, taken away. Now, there are many things I could say about that. One of them being like, you could easily go like, see, what's the fucking point? You know? But the other thing is, how many people were there and how many people were touched by this event? Really tells me there are certain kinds of people in this world that mean a lot to people. I don't even know if he knew how many people would be at his funeral. I bet he wouldn't have never have guessed. You know, like how many, like, can you imagine that? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people at your funeral? How crazy would that be? You'd be like, fuck, cool, man. Like if you cared. But there are certain, I mean, people apparently, like, he was really, 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 like, really loved by so many people. It was so cool to see all that. My sister, you know, had a lot of stories about him and stuff, and you know, I felt so bad for the parents and stuff, obviously. So his parents would be my dad's cousin. His father is my dad's cousin. And they used to hang out a lot, but they don't anymore, because why would they? Because that's how people are, apparently. And like, the guy who passed away, his name was Ryan. He had a little brother who was not much, I think he's around the same age as my little brother. And when I saw him sitting there, like so dejected, oh my God, I gave him a hug, and you know, I'm gonna get in contact with him because I feel really bad, you know, like I'm like, man, you lost your older brother. That must be crazy. Like, I understand, like, I don't know, for some reason that was the one that stuck out the most to me. He has a sister too. I told her, because she was standing up there, like, not many people were able to go and speak because they were so sad. She did it for them. She read a lot of people's things, and that was really brave. I told her that too. I was like, it was really cool that you did that. That was very special, you know. I wanted her to know that I thought that, at least. And like, man, when his kid went up there and talked, she's about like an 11-year-old girl. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like, when you hear a young girl wanting her dad back, oh, Jesus Christ. That was, like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna fucking not cry from that. But that was really something crazy. Just to hear all this stuff, and I didn't know he was into music. I had no idea. I was like, oh wow, you know, he was into playing music and he was writing songs and stuff. I'm like, damn, I didn't know. Damn. Remember that last time I told you one of my cousins died and I was like, I'm gonna be better at it? Well, it's like, fuck. You don't know who to be better with. You don't know. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, now I'm talking to people in my family and stuff, and all of a sudden this person's going like, damn it. Fuck. You know, like, I'm not doing it right. And so I went outside. And I was speaking to God. And I was like, you know, I'm trying to do everything I possibly can. I want you to know that I am fucking up and I'm trying. You know, something along those lines. And I was just basically saying, like, I want to do your work. That's for you and the work for me. You know, I want to raise myself up and I want to, you know, do what you need me to do. But I do need to do what I'm doing for myself as well. I understand that. It's one and one. And I kind of got this feeling of like, there are certain people in the world that can touch many lives. But it's all about what power you have while you do it. You can do it with great kindness, and that's perfect. But when I think about him, and apparently he's one of these people, I got inspired that I want to be one too, right? I always have. I always wanted to be that person that was special for everybody. What I always try to do is be extra special for those people, and give them something too. Not just be kind to them, not just make them laugh or happy or be there for them when they need you, but also try to impart something. I always myself try to take on a burden of like, I have to have some sort of knowledge so when these people need me, I can kind of go and say these things. Tell them what they need to hear. And for me, that was realizing, well, I'll let God say it for them. For me. He can say it. He'll tell them. So I would imagine this, you know, he was too. I gotta say, when I approached the casket, and I saw him there, it was crazy. He must have a permanent smile. Must be something with his mouth, because anytime I see him, he's always smiling. Even laying there, he had a smile. That was crazy to see that. You know, I've never seen a smiling corpse before, you know, so that was something. But as I was looking at him, first of all, it was the youngest person I had ever seen dead. I've never seen someone that young dead. It's usually old people. And I just was looking at him and I was like, because as an old person, they already had a look to them, if that makes sense. They already had a look to them. So it's easier to see them super old, but then now they're dead. That's why it seems like they might be breathing and stuff, because it was so easy to see that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could like, oh yeah, of course. But when I saw someone my age laying there dead, I would say that it really enforced in me. I was like, that is a vessel, man. Like, that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, that's a vessel, dude. That's all it ever was, you know? It was insane to look at someone that young dead. Again, not dead because he couldn't handle life, so he killed himself. No, like fucking killed. Killed. You know what I mean? Like, seeing someone laying there that was killed. Crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was just something else, man. It was something else to behold, to just see this human being who is arguably still in the prime of their life. You know, 33, that's not that old. You know, you're not far from your 20s. Had a whole life ahead of him. If he was lucky, 30 more years to go. Gone. Just fucking gone like that. And it's like, At first, I didn't know what to say. I was, because it's like, what do I say? But I went up to the casket with him, because that's what we do. We need to go and see. We have to visually see this person. I'm not a toucher. I don't touch, I never was. I know some people do, but maybe when it's a closer person to me, I will, but that's, I'm not there yet. I haven't seen people die close enough to me. I'm very protected in that sense by the culture. Now, when I saw him, I quietly said, because I'm always ashamed, I'll see you in the next place. You know what I mean? I'll see you where we go next. That's when it gets to that point, like, what do you believe, right? Heaven, hell, dimensions, I don't know, whatever the fuck else people believe that happens afterward. I don't know, but I do know they're going there. And I know that I will too. I wanted to base myself in it. To get myself into this death and to feel it entirely. And to see just what it was. What does that invoke? And man, there was so many times that I could see in that room, the right person speaking could ignite it. It was insane. Like, if I just walked up there, I wanted to, but I'm like, no, we're not doing that. If I could just walk up there and just spew those words from God, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. You could unite that fucking room and you could get all those people. Like I saw the whole thing. I saw like what the point of this memorial is. I saw the whole point of what we're supposed to do for the family. I saw the whole point of after we had a feast, I know that these people were very Christian and stuff, and Jesus Christ was talked about a lot. But man, did it feel pagan as fuck to me, like we go here, we mourn this person, he's going to be cremated, and they're going to spread his ashes in such a way. I really wish we could have been there for that. That'd be awesome. It took like a pyre almost, and we could watch him be absorbed to nothing, to go to the shit we're fucking missing now. Our whole culture's based on bullshit. And we don't have stories or anything, we don't have anything like that. Our myths are destroyed, our stories are gone. It's like we're these lifeless fucking husks that are told to believe this, and that. And make sure you buy the next phone because you're gonna need the next phone because you gotta make sure you text all those fucking people that you pretend you don't give a fuck about, but you keep texting them. Like, there's all this stupid shit around us, and then when people die, when they're taken to the fucking reality of the situation, we're born to die. When that happens, we're just like, like, you're supposed to lay these motherfucking people to rest, or to burn them, or whatever your culture says that you do with your dead. We don't have that, and I think that's what upsets me the most, because we're so separate from it. Man, these younger kids don't get to face shit anymore. And I was kind of thinking about this stuff, and I saw the point of everything here, and when we were at that feast, and there was so much joy at that feast. Even though there was a death, and we all stared at him. We all looked at his dead body. About an hour later, we're feasting with the food never tasted any better. And I'm like, this is the fucking point. This is where the story comes in. It felt like a hollowed version of the truth. It felt like, man, at that feast, someone should have jumped on that fucking table like a bard and sang songs about him. You know what I mean? Like a pagan thing. Or we should have told stories, kind of like of each other and with him and stuff. Like, you're supposed to do that. And you're like, and then you at the funeral, we were like, I felt like if we could have delved into some fucking shaman or druid walked up there and started talking about the other realms and shit, started talking about what life and death is, and start telling us mythological stories of heroes and shit, we'd all sit there and we'd fucking feel better. Be like, yeah, like, he is like that hero. He's moving on, like, that will help us cope. And then we bring offerings to the family to make us feel less guilt. And the family can kind of rebuild with that. And then, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're missing all this shit. And I feel so bad for saying this. And I probably, I don't even know how to feel about what I'm about to say. But when we were sitting there and the prayers were going to happen, I was like, thank God, some sort of spirituality. But the entire prayer just revolved around Jesus Christ. And forgive me if this sounds really blasphemous, but I was like, man, I just felt like all we were doing was sitting there. I was like, yeah, I know he died and all, but like, you know, Jesus Christ died for you. So just like, believe him. And if you do that, you'll find everlasting life. And I'm like, I'm not afraid. I don't need to hear that. I want to hear you tell me what is going on. I want to hear you, like, as a pastor, I want to hear you tell me about what life and death is. I want to go into the nuts and bolts of this shit. I want to feel something. I want you to tell me and teach me. I want some fucking wise druid to tell me something, you know? Or whatever you believe in, some sort of fucking other pagan priest or something. That's what I wanted. I just sat there and heard stuff about Jesus Christ, and like, maybe I'm gonna go to hell for this, but it's just like, I don't, you know, like, I didn't feel anything from that. I wanted to, I was like, oh, here we go, the prayers. This is where I'm about to get fucking spiritual on this shit. And then that happened, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever. It ruined it for me. It really did. And I feel bad if someone's religious and hears that. I'm sorry, you know, I believe in God. I do. I don't know what it is about Jesus Christ. Maybe it's a fear. I have no idea. Maybe I'm afraid of him. Maybe I'm afraid to accept him, right? It could be that. I'm not going to say it's not. I'll entertain that thought and say, like, it might be why. There might be some evil pagan in me or some shit that doesn't want to let go of his deities or something. I don't know. Whatever they say. But I felt it was so lackluster. It felt like there was the bones of our real selves there. Like we were almost doing it right, but it wasn't deep enough. It was too gray. Black, white, and gray. There was no color. And I swear, the people needed to hear more, and I wanted to say stuff, but I'm like, I'm in a room full of strangers. Which, whatever, you know, I'm fine with that. I'll talk in front of strangers and shit. I didn't think it was my place because I wasn't close enough to him. And I feel bad for that. Man, I wanted to. I just wanted to walk up there and just like, hey guys. And I wanted to get into some shit and go deep. And talk about what meaning is to people, what it is to touch someone's life, and how we can use that to ourselves. And if we feel this way about someone who touched their lives in such a grand way, then I could explore that with them, and I could talk about different ways they themselves could do this. And how we don't need to be living with regret. And that point of his taking was a point of our taking. You know, like, I wanted to go into that shit. I wanted to, like, fucking preach and stuff. Like, I'm not that person, but, like, it was, like, fucking in me wanting to so badly do that. But I was like, I can't. If this was Jacob, God forbid, I would have. My ass would have been right up there. Tears in my eyes and fucking saying shit to people to help them. Because people want that fucking clarity when they're staring death right in the fucking face. We live over here so much, then all of a sudden, here it is, here's death. You're like, oh, Jesus, I don't know what to do. And why is he young? I don't understand. What did he do wrong? You know, like, and then all these questions, and like, they need that fucking person there to tell them. They need that person to channel God for them. And speak. It's just something mankind's lost, man. We've had it replaced with fucking synthetic bullshit, and look where we are. Shocker, the world's going to shit. Shocker. And I know it always has been shit, but it's extra shit, and we all know it. The day you can assign your own gender is the day that you know it's fucked. I don't feel what I am. I'm like, how? That's all, man. I just kind of needed to get all that out. I've been thinking about it for a little bit. I didn't know where this was going to go. But, again, he was a very caring person that helped everybody out when he could. Always thought about others first. And it was clear by how many fucking people were there. A fantastic person who tried his damnedest to be the best person for all of them. Clearly struggled with a lot of demons. But god damn it, most of the best people do. You know? Could have been a sage in his own right. If he just channeled those words, you know? So many strange things. You know, when I look at my fiance now and then like my sister, they both have this weird connection to this other realm, dude. The shit they fucking have seen when it comes to what we would describe as ghosts or supernatural things. And man, they've got an ability that if it wasn't blown out of fucking proportion throughout the past, and then they turned into witches, and then they turned into whatever the fuck and were killed. Those kind of women, man, they have a special fucking connection. And then Billy's one too, and I just joke to myself, like, I'm surrounded by witches and druids, and I fucking love it. Because they all have their goddamn hand in the other realm. And they're pulling shit back on accident because no one ever taught them how to do it right. Or not right at all, you know. I don't know. It's wisdom we'll never have. Something died a long time ago in mankind. Something as soon as the Romans came to be. When the Romans became a thing, then the Roman Catholics, the world's been fucked ever since. It's pretty clear now. Pretty clear. AD has been hell. The entire AD from year 1 to now, just absolute fucking debauchery and hell. Not saying it was perfect before that, but at least they had shamans and druids and priests and priestesses and druidesses, and I don't know what other cultures call those kind of people, sages and shit. Those existed, who were closer to God, or an aspect. They knew so much more than we ever will, and they've been fucking killed because they were pagans. And here we sit, lost. All these young people come, you know, our families come to America, we're so mixed up, we don't know shit. We're all like, I think people really want to be mixed and stuff, and I'm like, that's just gonna cause fucking confusion. Now we don't even know our own stories. Now we hate each other. And here we sit. I don't know, man, it bums me the fuck out and pisses me off, and somehow his death solidified this for me. I was like, dude, we are missing so much. We're missing so much. And sometimes we have certain people in our lives that just give us a fucking glimmer of what we're going to miss. Just a fucking glimmer. You know what I mean? There are certain people that just shine so bright, and they're just the fucking sliver of truth. And those people that make you shine the brightest, or shine around you the brightest, they're the ones that are fucking the deepest in the darkness. Every single fucking time. And that's something that means that they have the biggest fucking heart. Because they search so hard to feel okay and to be cared about. They're willing to touch thousands of lives in order to feel that good. There's something to be said about that. I think that's a special priest power that we've long, long lost. Those people were meant to do something. They're always taken too early, too. But that's all. Just wanted to get all that out. I'll keep him in my thoughts and prayers. I'll make sure I contact his little brother and his sister keep in touch with them. It's the least I can do, you know. Keep trying. It'll probably be hard for a little bit. They're like not gonna respond and stuff, and they'll be really short. But I'll continue to keep on fucking trying, and we'll see. You know, maybe make up for the mistakes that I've made. So at least that's what I'm hoping. So anyway, until next time.
Look at life from the windowsill, and I just saw the rain. I look at life from the windowsill, and I still feel the pain. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. I look at life from the windowsill, and I just saw the truth. I look at life from the windowsill, and I just saw the truth. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. It's got me singing. And I just saw the rain. I look at life from the windowsill, and I still feel the pain. It's got me singing. It's got me singing.